What's happening, everybody? It's Monster Chappie. We're back today looking at how to slow down the ever so popular jet slot post out of this New York Jets playbook. Now, there's a few things that make this play very effective. As you can see, it's the play on the right. And we're going to go ahead and break it down now. Now, first off, in breaking this down, I'm going to block the running back just for simplicity's sake. I know they could put him on a wheel or, streak him or, do whatever they want to do with him. But for simplicity's sake, we're going to go ahead and block him. You may have to make more adjustments if they send him out. But for the most part, he's not the biggest threat on the play for the most part. So the biggest threats on this play are Sanders, Burris, and Wallace, or the two outside wide receivers and the slot wide receiver on the same side as the running back. Now, first thing I want to do is analyze the formation itself. Now, obviously, it's a compressed set, but the only thing you need to really key in on is where's the halfback, because the way this guy gets separation on the outside on the right is a lot different than how the guy on the left gets separation. And as you're going to see, we'll go ahead and look at it right now. We're going to hike the ball. Now, the guy opposite the running back, look at the separation he gets. It's just crazy separation. It's pretty much, it's glitchy how much separation he gets right here, which is what makes this play very tough, because you can get a real quick pass and you can just outside pass lead that, and that's just money. Now, however, this guy over here on the right side, he does have position inside for inside pass lead, but he doesn't get that, insane separation. As you can see, even just looking at him, as soon as they make their moves, you can just see the difference. That guy already has 5 yards on the defender, whereas this guy just has, this wide receiver just has inside position. And what you can do with that inside position, again, is just pass lead that inside and make it happen right there. So that's the main two routes that make this play very effective, is those two, for one. And then Burris' route, again, the slot guy here, because he gets mostly inside position, but it's more specifically for zones, because he gets underneath that cover 3 look very easily, and there's just no one there to really make a play on him. And then that slot guy over there, the other, defender in that hook zone, he doesn't make a play on it because he ends up actually going with the slot wide receiver on the left. So this guy here that should be where Burris is supposed to go is actually going to go with Brown. And we're going to just go ahead and run that one more time. And as you're going to see, if there wasn't this much block shedding in practice. Jeez. But as you're going to see, we'll just run it one more time. Mauluga is actually going to end up covering, that other slot wide receiver, and that leaves Burris wide open. So how do we stop this play? How do we slow it down? First off, our biggest threat is the wide receiver opposite the running back. So always keep in mind which side the running back is on when they run this play, because that opposite guy, he is the biggest threat. Now, what we're going to do here is we're actually going to shade the coverage outside, and what I'm going to show you is in a default stock 2-man under. With shaded coverage to outside, it's not enough. He's still going to be able to get outside like that, and that's Terrence Newman, so it's definitely not the speed. It doesn't matter who your corner is. It can be Revis, Newman, Charles Woodson, whoever you want to put there. It does not matter. That animation just happens every time. So what are we going to do to stop this? Now, what I like to do is back up the defender on him, or you could back up all your coverage. But what you're going to see is that glitchy separation that he got before, he no longer gets that as we do the replay here, because when he makes his cut, our defender doesn't get caught up in that animation. As you're going to see here, see our defender's still playing him, and now he's actually in good position. Now, he could possibly lob this over the top if he has a speedy wide receiver, so you are going to still need some help over the top. But what we can do this time is shade the coverage outside, back him up, and that should be able to lock down that route specifically. As we go here. Now, again, they get that lob over the top, you might be in trouble. So what I like to do, if I'm forced to play 2-man under, I don't like the 2-man under look against this at all, but you can go ahead and re-blue that safety over there, and that's absolutely going to shut this down, that, X receiver down. So again, to shut down the X receiver, what we need is backed off man coverage and some safety help over the top that actually plays that part of the field. Now we're going to look at the wide receiver on the outside on the right. Now what's going to shut him down? Well, that's the separation he gets right there. It's that inside pass lead. So what we're going to want to do again is go ahead and get these guys set up out here. Make sure this deep blue's on the outside. You can shade as well. But what I like to do here is actually just re-blue him and just bring him down to the line of scrimmage. And what you're going to see, just going to spy these guys so we got a lot of time in the pocket. So what you're going to see is when we go for this inside pass lead now, that guy is there and he's able to make a play on the ball and he's able to pick it off this time, fortunately for us. So what you're going to see on this replay is now that we have the left side outside guy locked up, and the reason they can't inside pass lead, I mean, they may try to force it, but as you can see, the corner is always going to get that inside position, and then the safety has the outside position and the over the top, so they can't just lob it, and that's going to lock that down. Now we're going to get to this guy in a second because you could force a pass into him with some pass lead, but now we're going to look at this guy. Now, again, this corner has outside position, so you can't just, bullet pass outside. And then we have this safety here who started at the line of scrimmage. As you're going to see, he's just backpedaling. He's not getting beat deep. And as soon as that pass lead comes in, he's there, and he just stops, and he's able to make a play on the ball. And you're going to see it again here. We just re-deep blue him and move him down. And he's going to bottle up that B route for the most part once they go back to that inside pass lead. So now we've figured out a way to stop both of the outside guys. We need a way to, stop that last guy who, in this case, is going to be, A, or if you're on the PlayStation 3, to be X. And what we can do here is just user it. We can user the guy on the halfback if they block the halfback. If they do send the halfback out, you're obviously going to have to dedicate him. You could also user the guy that's actually covering him, or you could take an additional defender, say like you run a linebacker at defensive end package or something like that. The Bengals have fast defensive ends, so this isn't so much a problem with them, but with other teams with slower defensive ends, you may want to get a linebacker in there. And we can go ahead and just run it like this, and this should pretty much bottle it up. Now again, they got that pass lead there, but we want to user him actually instead of just doing that as we did in that example. And the reason for that is because you really just want to be able to lock it up yourself, because if you put him in a hook, he may guard it here, he may guard it there. But by the time the receiver gets here, he'll be uncovered again. So that's the reason for that. So you go ahead and take away A, and you've bottled up the main three routes that make this play very effective. Now that's if you're in a two-man underlook. I particularly hate the two-man underlook against it, but if you had to play it, or if you were stuck in it, or whatever the case may be, that is what you would go with. Now with the cover three, what you're going to notice if you run that stock, they just get that inside pass lead for a huge play over here. It's also going to be the same case on the left side. Hurry that up. Get downfield. Bang. Get that on the left side. And you're also going to get it across the middle with Burress here as he gets, again, what I'm going to show in this replay here is when you're in the cover three look, the two guys playing this area of the field, the two hook zones are going to be, generally in this area. But this one here in particular is actually going to be attracted to that slot wide receiver on the left, as you can see here. And he goes with them for just long enough, and he kind of just stays with them, as you can see here. And what that's going to do is once Burress crosses this guy's hook zone, he's just wide open. And that's just money, 20 yards down the field. That's a big play to be given up. So we need to be able to shut all this down. Now, what I like to do is if you watch the replay again, if you looked at it or you're paying attention, these flat zones actually do a great job of stopping these outside post routes further down the field or before they get further down the field. So I kind of like those. You can leave those as flats. You could change them to purples. It's really not going to make a huge difference. But the first adjustment we can make is just shade our coverage inside. And what that's going to do is usually what that's going to do, here we're going to try this again, shade inside and then press coverage. What we're going to see happen here is hopefully that deep blue will now cover that inside pass lead. It's not doing a great job of that right now. Another thing you can do with that is instead like put Crocker again in this deep blue and bring him right here, bring him down, and then that's going to go ahead. Now that will definitely stop that inside pass lead if he stays on the right guy. Jeez, they're trying to make this extremely hard to get to you guys right the first time. So let's try this again. Now, I'm going to go ahead. Now this should definitely stop it. You know, they do that inside pass. Oh my gosh, I'm scratching my head. This is frustrating. It was just working. But, all right. So, for the sake of all things good in life, I'm just going to man him up on Burris. So, hopefully that guy stays on that inside position here. For some reason, he keeps getting beat on that inside. So, what we're going to need to do here is, again, put Crocker in that deep blue there. And he should make a play. There we go. He finally, oh gosh. Finally got him to stay where I wanted him to stay, but he didn't play it how I wanted him to play it. So we're going to go ahead and move him down here and get him in that deep blue. Now hopefully this time, nope, he keeps going to that A route. Okay. This is getting bad. All right, let's just do this, okay? Hopefully he plays it this time. Thank you. Thank you, my man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, jeez. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to just bring the coverage down and shade them inside. And again, that should shut down the, pretty much shut that down as far as the inside pass leads go. Now what you're going to see happening here is Burrs is sometimes dropping that deep. He's kind of drawing the attention of that deep corner. So you kind of want to avoid that happening. See if we can get it going here. There we go. All right, so he played it perfect this time. And that's going to shut that down. Most of the time, you know, as you've seen before, there are definitely a lot of exceptions to the rules in this game. But shade the coverage inside. And I actually just like leaving the rest of the look the same. Because as he gets downfield, you know, that outside guy is going to play the inside position. Likewise on the left side of the field. I'm going to see that flat does a good job. We go for the inside pass lead. And we get it, of course. But we're going to shade the coverage inside again and block the halfback this time. And this time we should see, there we go. They're playing it well now. As you can see, these deep zones look like this. When we shade inside, they're going to play the inside of the field quite a bit more. And what you'll see happen is either that corner or that safety, the free safety, is going to actually be able to make a play on the ball deep down the field with just the shaded coverage. So it's one way to lock that down. And then what you can do is user this guy here and actually take away Burrs' route. So that would be, you know, the second way we could lock this up, you know, as far as trying to shut this play down. And you can obviously send some heat and things like that, which I definitely would recommend doing. So with the man, we're going to go ahead and look at it one more time just so you guys don't forget before we move on. With the man, again, we want to back up the coverage on the dude opposite of the running back, get that safety out there, and then make sure this guy plays that seam, that safety. And then we can go ahead and use our Burris and kind of use the QB as well and stuff like that. But that's going to be the way we shut it down from the two-man under look. Obviously, again, I would be wanting to cover Burris with that linebacker, but I'm using both controls. And then with the cover 3 look, we're going to want to shade the coverage inside and user Burris with this linebacker or whichever hook zone is on the left. If you're running a play with 2 hook zones, you're going to want to use Burris again on this side. And yeah, that's going to bottle it up. Again, that's another way we can shut down this play. Another way is to go for a cover 4 look, which I like because you don't have to make as many adjustments to slow it down. So if we just run a stock cover 4, what you're going to see here is there's just no way he's getting that ball to the outside guys. It's just not going to happen. I like to press coverage to get them closer to the line of scrimmage. But as you can see, they really just don't develop as well. That inside pass lead is definitely open right now. But we just have to make sure that that player himself doesn't go to Burris, because I think that's what's happening right now, which is why the inside pass lead is opening up. So what we could do with the cover 4 is just shade inside, and that should definitely help. Try to press coverage again. Go ahead. And now, that inside pass lead is tough. Now, they could try to go outside. They're going to really have to read that, though. And they're really going to have to be on their A game if they're going to be trying to make that pass consistently. But definitely the cover 4 with those 4 guys back there is just going to give it a lot of trouble, just due to how it is in nature of 4 defenders being back there, and there's kind of like 3.5 guys going kind of deep. So, we stop that inside pass lead from those outside guys and, worry about Burris. So, again, against zone, Burris is going to be that key guy, because in the cover 4, we face the same problem. But what I like to do is with the cover 4, I'll take that left buzz zone and I'll kind of just put him over here in the hook. And that should shut Burris down. And I'm going to go ahead and stay on Hall and make sure he plays Wallace's inside pass lead correctly. So now when they go back here, we've got that hook underneath him, and he'll be able to make a play on the ball. And those are the 3 ways, I guess, out of base plays that you can shut down the jet slot post right here. Again, this guy here with this inside pass lead, this is the safety I would usually be using, and make sure we take that away. You do want to deter him away from making the pass to Burris. But once you do that, like at this point, you could just slide kind of right back to where your original zone is and take away the inside pass lead up there. So, if I was to run a cover 4 look, I would just move this guy out here. We go out to press coverage, and I could use it with this guy and just make sure that pass to Burris does not develop. And we're almost going on 20 minutes, but this is a really tough play to stop. So that's the reason why I want to give you a few different ways to stop it, because as you've seen in that 2-man under, etc., it can definitely get loose for a lot of yards downfield. Now, the last thing I like to do is blitz it, and this isn't going to be as huge, but if they are sending the running back out, one thing we can do is just kind of send some heat at them and, adjust our zones accordingly. So this is kind of like a cover 3 zone look, and we shade the coverage inside to stop those pass leads. And then we can go ahead and use a Burris or use it at middle of the field. So what we're going to see here, we just got more guys rushing in, so they have less time in the pocket. Again, run that same look. Try to get this hook near the middle of the field and hopefully get some pressure, a little bit better pressure this time. Those inside pass leads were open that time. I forgot to shade the coverage like a numbskull. But, again, you can bring like a cover 3 blitz, shade that coverage inside, and go ahead and lock it up, man. This is one way I could definitely recommend locking up this play, is to just bring like a cover 3 blitz and make sure you got the heat coming, and they really aren't going to have a lot of time to do too many things with that. So, hopefully this helped you guys out. And this play is in the Confusion ebook. This is the Fire Zone 3, I think, or something like that. Let me go ahead and look at the name of this. This is in the Confusion ebook in case you're wondering what kind of setups and stuff do I put in ebooks. This Foxfire Zone is definitely one that's in there, and this is just a nice little blitz that you can use to get some good coverage as well as a solid blitz as well. Just a decent amount of edge heat from a dime look without too many adjustments. And, you know, again, here we should get that right edge heat coming off the edge, and we're screaming. And, yeah, that's locking it up. So, hopefully this video helped you guys out because I put a lot of work and effort into it, and we are running around 20 minutes. So be sure to subscribe for more tips, gameplays, and all that stuff. And leave a thumbs up if this helped you shut down the jet slot post. And, you know, if you're curious about ebooks and stuff, you know, that last setup for that Fire Zone is one that was in the Confusion ebook if you want to check that out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed again, and until the next time, we gone.